Oh boy, we're back, folks. Welcome to another episode of the Josh Potter Show. Oh boy, it's I, Josh Potter, getting ready to go to Chicago this week. Yes, if you're watching this on the day it comes out, I head for the land of Chicago mañana, and I'll be there doing 4 shows at the Comedy Bar on the 17th and 18th. Get your tickets at thejoshpotter.com. After that, we're going to Washington, D.C. on May 30th. On May 31st, the Emmaus Theater in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. That with the great Tim Butterly. So make sure you get all those tickets at thejoshpotter.com, not to be confused with the email address where you can send in articles for the show, joshpottershow@gmail.com. That's where you can send in things like all the Roach reporters did, or you can send in a musical number like Killa Cope did right here. Thank you to him for sending things in. Love hearing music from him and Griff Parker, from Odd Track Numbers, all the folks who make the music. Thank you so much, and thank you to all the Roach reporters sending things in to joshpottershow@gmail.com. Well, the Patreon's going to get kicking up again. I took a small break. We had some scheduling things. Plus, I'll get into the Netflix is a Joke Festival this past week. It has been busier than I ever anticipated it ever being. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Other than that, make sure you go rate, review, subscribe for the show. All that stuff. I appreciate it a great deal. And we'll be back on the Patreon in just a little bit, maybe a week or two here. Back up and running, patreon.com/The Josh Potter Show. Only $5 to get involved with that. It's already got over 90 hours of content if you haven't signed up already. So pleased to be doing that. And what do you say we get right into the show? Because boy, oh boy, here, I'm just going to tell you folks straight up. I have more poop coming out of my body than I don't even know how it's in there. I mean, it seems like there's just... My body's comprised of poop today. I don't even know what it is. And it's from... I spent the last 10 days, as you saw me last week, I came out of the roast day onto the program, and I was like, boy, oh boy, am I a mess. Holy hell. And then I did that subsequently for the next... I mean, what the hell? What day was that, the roast day? That was 1 week ago.
It's like the 3rd or the 5th?
Yeah, now we're up to the 13th or whatever the hell, and... I partied every single... It got to the point where I was hoping Post Malone didn't show up to the parties, because it was like, oh God, Post Malone's here again? Oh my God, we're going to be here till the sun comes up. And that's mostly... I mean, I don't know what it is about me. Loneliness, perhaps. I don't really know. I can't leave the party until everyone leaves. Especially when Post Malone shows up. People were like, oh, Post Malone's here, I gotta get out of here. And I was like, yeah, I probably should. But boy, oh boy, was he a hell of a time to hang out with. And, you know, you think when Post Malone's hanging out, you're like, how often do I get to hang out with Post Malone? So I just want to cherish every second of it. And then the sun is up and you go home. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what the hell's going on with my body right now. I really wore myself. Basically, I said this last week too. I joined a gym because I was like, I know things are getting bad, and I didn't go to. I said to myself, after this festival is when I hit it hard. I spent this whole festival. I'm just going to skid on the rocks all week long, just and see if I get to the other side, and then I'll take care of things. So here we are. I'm going to sleep for 48 hours the second this podcast is over. And then it's to the gym, and you're going to get a healthy Roach from here on out. No more of this nonsense. Boy, oh boy, I say that as I'm about to go to Chicago. I'm like, I'm going to be healthy in Chicago. I'm not going to drink my face off. But seriously, I haven't felt, you know, because, you know, drinking and all that crap, partying, you know, people are like, hey, maybe, you know, pump the brakes a little bit. And you're like, nah, I'm good. And then a week like this past one happened, and holy, you're like, all right. Now I know. Now I got it out of my system. Now I got it out of my system for at least a little while. So I'll pump the brakes on that for sure. But playoffs, I mean, I don't even know what's going on with like sports, because I've been just out every night at shows. Shout out, by the way, to Yoni and Christy and Christina and all the people that run Kill Tony. For letting me come hang out at the... I got to go hang out at the Kia Forum, for Christ's sake. I never thought the Roach would get to waltz into the Forum Lounge. That back in the day, you know, Magic Johnson, so many greats, all these folks used to go into and party and hang out, all these athletes and celebrities from the 70s in LA. You know, you see it in the movies, you see it in the TV shows. I never thought I'd get to go in there, but thank you to the Kill Tony folks. Obviously, Tony Redband and everybody else over there. I appreciate you guys so much, and we partied with them all weekend. And then last night, they performed at the YouTube Theater. I had a set, so I didn't go to the YouTube Theater, but of course, the whole gang came afterwards, and that was the grand finale of Partydom. The after party last night. Oh my Lord. And so we're out through the other side. We made it through Netflix as a joke. And here we are, ready to take over the world. But yes, no, I didn't even pay attention. I didn't pay attention to my fantasy baseball team. Lots of things were neglected during the Netflix as a Joke Festival, and we got to get back on task. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. And I know that the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets have been struggling with the Minnesota Timberwolves in the playoffs a little bit, but that wasn't the thing that stuck out to me. And people are like, boo-hoo, sports. Well, guess what? This isn't about the basketball series. This isn't about the back and forth of the playoff series. This is about some sex noises. Check what happened out at Luka Doncic's press conference here.
We were open shot, so...
Can you pause it for a second? So, by the way, I talked about how the Minnesota Timberwolves were battling against the Denver Nuggets. I meant to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Dallas Mavericks. I get... this is my lack of basketball knowledge, and I get Luka Doncic and what the... I don't even know how to say that, the MVP of the league's name. I don't even know how to say... That's how at basketball I am. So all the people who are like, I don't like sports. Even I, who hates basketball, can find glee in this clip. Again, sex noises at Luka Doncic's press conference.
We were open shot, so just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think?
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. There's some nerd out there in the crowd who's like, Luka, he's about to ask him about, getting rebounds, or I don't even know what the he's about to ask him about, but then the sex noise plays, and he's like, oh, okay. He has to make some... I love when the sex noise... This is not the first sex noise press conference that we've had. This is not the first time sex noises bleed into something. Oftentimes, a gentleman has his device hooked up to a Bluetooth. It's happened to all of us. And then what happens when you're hooked up to the Bluetooth? You open up your browser and, whoa, a little spicy, perhaps an OnlyFans link or something is up there from previous, moments alone or what have you, and then all of a sudden it starts playing out of the Bluetooth. I think that's what occurred. Or somebody just had their phone or tablet on extraordinarily loud, and they just switched to a tab that again they forgot to close, and boom, all of a sudden. But nobody ever outs the guy. I want to know whose sex noise. If this was my sex noises, I'd be like, yeah, that was me at the press conference. That was my sex noises that were played. Let's watch it again, because I love Luka's face. If you're not watching it on YouTube, get over there and check it out, because you can't hear you can hear the sex noises on the audio version, but you can't hear the look on Luka Doncic's face. Watch it again.
We were open shot, so just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay, moving on.
Okay, moving on. Yeah, we needed you to say it, pal. I want to know more than I want to know whose sex noises those were. I want to know who that dork is that's like, oh boy, sex noise. He was blushing and sweating. I'm sweating right now, but that's because I'm just exuding liquor, and I'm trying not to just my pants constantly while you're watching me. So yes, I am sweating as well, but it's not out of nervousness that I heard a sex noise. I don't know what could have been worse than that. I guess it's not even that bad. I guess I could think of something worse. What if it was just really sex? That would be really fun. If it was just oh yeah, I'm gonna f your man. It's that kind of sex noises. Oh boy, that would really cause a stir in an NBA press conference. That's for sure. But speaking of the other guy that I was confusing Luka Doncic with, I mean, these fucking Serbian guys. Does that make me racist that I can't keep them straight? I'm like, Luka Donic, the MVP? No. The MVP for the Denver Nuggets, Luka Donic? No. That's a joke chick, or what have you. And recently he was in a press conference or an interview, and this got sent in from Tim Wing, joshpottershow@gmail.com, joshpottershow@gmail.com. Here, let's listen to Nikola Jokic's little quote here from an interview, if it comes up, or maybe they got rid of it. Oh, here we go.
No homo. He's longer than you. No homo. He's longer than you.
Okay, it's very quick clip from Tim Wing here, and the context, I do believe. What does it say there in the bottom there in the caption?
It doesn't.
No, I know it doesn't say the caption, but what does it say? He's talking about another player on the opposing team being longer than the average guy or something like that. He's like, he's longer than most or what have you. But he prefaces it by saying no homo, as if we were going to be like, oh, he's talking about his penis. What do you...
Yeah, it doesn't give any context, at least in the comments right now.
Well, I mean, we have all the context we need. We just don't know who he was talking about, and that's okay. But what does it say in that caption beneath the... It
just says, no homo, he's longer than you'd expect.
Right, that's what I was trying to get. Yeah. Make sure I got the quote correct.
No, nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he started out by saying no homo. I think it's changed according to the culture out there in the world. I think we've changed no homo to no diddy now. I do believe. So I guess Jokic's got to get his fucking references correct. Get back on point. I mean, has the Kendrick Lamar Drake thing erased the Diddy scandal? Basically because Kendrick Lamar is calling Drake a pedophile. And everybody I'm talking to, and listen, folks, I don't know much. I'm just catching conversations about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I'll hear the songs every now and then. I like listening to rap music and being like, oh, that's a sample from Benny and the Jets, and no one knows what I'm talking about. And I'm like, I think it is, right? And then I have to go do my own research. But I've listened to some of the music and here and there, and I can't really make heads or tails of it all. But I know that I like Kendrick Lamar more than I like Drake, and I've always known that. You know why? Because I've always said Drake is a pedophile. And I've said that for years, and I thought everyone knew that. And then come to find out, there are people who are fans of Drake who are like, what? Really? It's like Kendrick Lamar is like Hannibal Buress when it came to Bill Cosby. It was like always whispers, always like little show business back rooms. You'd hear rumors about Cosby and you'd hear little things here and there, but you wouldn't hear any concrete sort of things until Hannibal Buress just straight up said it, and then the rest of America's like, wait, what? That's what I feel like is happening with Drake right now. I feel like we've all been kind of suspicious of Drake due to his, finaglings with Millie Bobby Brown. At least us white people have been. And then here, all of a sudden, Kendrick Lamar says something, and the rest of y'all are like, he's a what? He did what? Allegedly. So I just thought that was interesting when it comes to that little beef, because here I am on the outside looking in, and the one thing that I knew about it the whole time was that Drake was a pedophile, allegedly. That's the only part I knew. And then people seemed shocked about that part the most. Very bizarre. I don't understand what's going out there with the rest of y'all.
I don't care about that. Not a fig.
No.
Limp Bizkit.
That's more my speed. Anywho, let's get into some of the news, shall we? And there's a story that's breaking right now that I kind of, I didn't put on the prep sheet, and I kind of want to find out in real time. If you recall, back in the days of, this must have been 10 years ago now at this point, maybe even 6-7 years ago, I'll never forget where I was when the blue and gold dress came to be. What side were you on? Is it silver and gold? Is it blue and something or other? Black? I don't remember. You remember the dress?
Yeah.
Everyone. There was the Yanni and Laurel. The sounds. Everyone was, what sound do you hear? Turns out you can really trick your brain into hearing both sounds. Turns out you can probably trick yourself into seeing both colors of the dress as well. Well, this dress took the internet by storm. And evidently, the man who posted the dress, if I do believe, that's a thing. The man who was like the guy who made this dress go viral and was like, what are the colors? Ooh. He's famous for this. But now he's going to be famous for something else, more kind of like the OJ of the internet. He decided to murder his wife. What does it say here? You're going to need to like go through this article with me. Dress that broke the internet, husband reportedly charged with attempted murder of the wife. So it wasn't a full-on murder, just an attempted one at the end of the day.
Murder.
Yeah, so it says a Scottish man who's the groom at a 2015 wedding and unleashed the internet dress on the world has been reportedly charged with attempted murder of his wife.
So the Scottish guy was at a wedding and he saw the dress and was like, what color is this?
I think.
Were they all having a debate at the wedding? They're all like, oh, what? I can't do a fucking Scottish. I'm too fucked up right now. I'm too hungover. I can't even possibly muster the strength to attempt a Scottish accent. What color is this? I can't do it. I couldn't do it. I tried. I sat here. I gave my best effort for you folks. Didn't work out. So anyways, he tried to kill his wife, evidently.
Yeah. He was the groom at the wedding where I believe that was her wedding dress, which is the one that really became famous.
That was her wedding dress?
Yeah, I think
Disgusting.
It says here, prosecutors allege over nearly 11 years he repeatedly assaulted his wife at their home in Scotland, and in March of 2022 attempted to strangle her, brandished a knife, and threatened to kill her.
So, I mean, he's been doing this for a minute.
Yeah, it sounds like this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it sounds like he's been just assaulting this lady, and he's putting her dress online. I mean, it's almost now like one of the old street jokes. It's like, what's black and blue and red all over? The dress, because I beat my wife. I mean, maybe that's why it's all different colors. But I thought that we got to keep our eyes on that story. And Mikey Schaff sent that in last second. Didn't get it on the prep sheet, but wanted to give him a shout out. JoshPotterShow@gmail.com is where you can send things in. Next up, we have a video Jefferson Nally sent in, and I actually at the party last night I was shown this video, as a matter of fact, so I was happy that it was on the prep sheet. People were like, can you believe this is happening on a bus? Guess what? Yes, I can, but this is like I mean, once you see what happens here, you're gonna be like, oh, on a bus that happened? Yeah, that makes sense. Here it is. Let's watch.
I would like to see the sign that says no hammocks. We've got a whole. Where's the no hammock sign? We got a whole list of things. No.
Pause it for a second. So what we're seeing is a man on a city bus. I don't know what city it is. Does it say?
It just feels like Los Angeles. Like this feels like some shit that
actually it does look like an LA bus. I have been on a couple of my day, and that looks like an LA bus. And the guy goes in and he's like, I'd like to see the sign that says no hammocks. There is not a sign that says that. In his defense, he is correct. There is no hammock sign. However, there's probably going to be like a no camping gear situation. And I'm sure this guy is on his way to protest the Jews in UCLA or what have you. You know, that's why he's got his hammock. He's got to get out there. He's got to get on that lawn of that school and protest the Jews. And how dare they on the bus not allow him on with his hammock? Now, when you go on with something, I would want my camping gear or whatever it may be to be folded properly. You know, if I'm going to travel with it and carry it around, I'm not carrying a hammock in full extended. I'm folding it up, you know, at the very least compact so that I can take it on. I'm sure you can take your hammock on the bus if it's packed in something or if like it's rolled up in some capacity. This guy decided to let it just be, you know, he could probably set the hammock up in the bus and just lay in it. And maybe he was going to attempt to do that, but it's very funny seeing his head poke out from behind the hammock with his beanie on. And he's like, I've got important protesting to do. And he's like, I'd like to see the sign that says no hammocks, because they're just not letting his unfurled hammock. All about the bus. Let's keep going and see how this confrontation continues.
I'm not here.
Oh, wait a second. Oh my lord. So the man now has, pause it again. The man has now set his hammock up from poles on the bus. He set it up from one pole to the other and is laying in the hammock across the aisle. That, even if you have no sign that says no hammocks, even if you think in your heart of hearts that you're righteous for being able to bring your hammock onto the bus, there's definitely something again, setting it up across the aisle. Now, how are people going to get on? Really, at the end of the day, let's be practical, guy. So he set up his hammock, and now he's wrapping himself in it as a form of protest on the bus. And this one, not to protest Israel or Palestine or what have you. This is just to keep him there. So in order to sort of solidify the fact that this man will not be able to remove his hammock, the bus driver that being, he's now wrapped himself in the hammock and turned like a cocoon, almost like a caterpillar who is going through his metamorphoses. And he's wrapped himself up in it. So now people are like, oh my God, because he's spinning in the hammock. Usually, in the cartoons, when you spin in a hammock, you fall out of it or whatever. And it's like, this case, the man deliberately doing that on the bus, in the aisle, strapped to each pole on each end. Go ahead. Ooh, his head popped out. Oop, now he's still going.
Oh my God.
Ooh, it's like he's doing tricks.
I'm like an anaconda.
I'm like an anaconda, he said. I don't really know what that is.
Oh my God.
A little bit.
What the?
You're gonna give yourself a concussion.
No,
You can't have a
no,
hammock in here, dude.
Come on, just drive the bus. Everyone's got places to go.
Just drive the
Can you
bus.
get down so we can get where we're going? Please?
What?
Dude, please?
I'm staying in the hammock.
I'm not moving this bus.
You know what? There's AC in here.
Dude, get down.
I'm not getting down.
Pause it again. That's the best thing that could ever happen for this guy. The guy's like, I'm not moving the bus. He's like, sick. There's AC in here. I'll sit in here all fucking day. This is so much better than outside where I have to put up my hammock normally. I'm not getting, at first I had the vibe that this was just a kid going to protest at UCLA. Now I have the vibe that he's a hobo who's on methamphetamines, probably. And he wants just a place to set his, he thought he was going to have a leisurely day. Some people, remember when you were a baby? I don't know if you remember. Some of you obviously have babies. Happy Mother's Day out there. But sometimes the babies, they can't follow. It's the best way to do. Put them in the car. Drive around. And the vibrations of the automobile often put them to sleep. You can listen to a white noise machine or something. That's what this guy's trying to get. He loves the sound of the bus, the downshift, the as it stops. He wants to feel the motion and the air conditioning and things like that, and wants to go for a leisurely ride. He thought he was going to end up at the end of the line and then take his little hammock down and be able to go about his day, but this bus driver's not allowing it. Keep going. Let's watch the end.
He's not moving.
Get down. Get down. We have places to go.
Yep. And he does another spin, and that's the end of that little TikTok there. What's that?
He tried to jump out at the end. Yeah, you see his feet come out at the end.
Oh, I don't know if he tried to jump out. I think in that one, that little spin, he fucked it up, and that was the end of that. And then he probably got real crazy, and the people turned their phones off and everything like that. But thank you to Jefferson Nally for sending that bad boy on joshpottershow@gmail.com. By the way, folks, during the Netflix is a Joke Festival, lined up some pretty fun guests that you're going to enjoy for the next couple of weeks. So get ready. Get ready. And I know people are asking about Al Madrigal. It's been a scheduling thing. The festival has been so crazy. And also his schedule's crazy. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we're working on it. And it's really, he has more to gain than coming on the show. So I want him to, too, as well. But, we'll figure it out and we'll make it happen. Just wanted to give you an update on that. Next up, we have an article that came to us by way of T-Bone. And this one is interesting because it involves some of my favorite things. This is why it's good to keep your hands where they can see them. That, according to this article here, a Nashville cop was fired this week for appearing in an adult content video. Now, that seems awful. I don't like when people get fired for doing pornography. I feel like we should all be allowed to do pornography if we so choose. And it appears that one small peck of his uniform while he groped an OnlyFans star's breast gave him away. So you see, this OnlyFans person was making some content and decided, I want to add a little panache to my content and I'm going to have other people participate in it. And they decided evidently to do it, maybe some role playing with an officer of the law. Either way, Officer Sean Herman was fired Thursday for wearing his full uniform for a cameo in Can't Believe He Didn't Arrest Me, an X-rated OnlyFans video produced by a local star called Jordan. Can we find Jordan, perhaps? The Metro Nashville Police confirmed this. The video starts with Jordan behind the wheel of the car with the man in the passenger seat. When a police officer cruiser signals to pull them over, Jordan tells the man, "I'm not going to get a ticket. I'm going to show him my tits." That, according to News Channel 5, reporting that. Do you think they reported that? First at 5 today, we have a story about a Nashville cop who was fired for a porno. "I'm going to show him my tits," was the news. Ooh, what's that? Is that her?
This
in
is her
bunny
Twitter
form?
account. I couldn't get onto her OnlyFans.
Oh, let's see a picture. Oh, you're looking through the media or what have you. Go to the top. Let's just see the profile. Nothing?
It's not up there. Hold on. We'll find it.
Oh, she's got a link tree. You know what that means, folks. When they have a link tree, there's some pictures. A police officer then approaches Jordan's car. He rests his hands on the open window frame, but cannot be seen from the shoulders up. And he identifies himself as Officer Johnson of PD, a.k.a. Police Department. Or does it mean like porn dick? I don't know. Officer Johnson. When the officer asks Jordan for her license and registration, Jordan tells him that she does not have the correct documents and then pulls down her top to expose her breasts. Are these the appropriate documents? I mean, come on, get better dialogue than that. I could do it. "Ma'am, it's 2024. I can't see tits on the internet. I can see tits on the internet anytime I want." That is the officer, whose face is still obscured, scoffs in reply. Now that's good writing. I enjoy that. What officer really? If I'm a police officer and I got to see tits, that'd be fun. But I wouldn't change I can't be like, well, I got to give her a ticket still. I can't just not give a ticket because I saw some tits. I'd be like, wow, those are very nice, ma'am. Here's your ticket. You have to appear in a court on June 14th. Jordan then invites the officer to grope her breasts, which he does while she is seen grabbing his crotch. There's another guy in the car too. Yeah, is this a cuck thing? Or are they going to fuck in front of the officer, bad lieutenant style? Hey now, look at her.
We can't put that one up. She's pretty hard to find full photos of because she may or may not work in the sex industry.
Well, I mean, we know she works in the sex. What are you talking about, may or may not?
She has a website that if you search her, you can hang out with her if you want.
Ooh, all right. Well, we'll look into that off the air. Had we not seen... Okay, so when the officer reaches into the car to grope Jordan, he reveals a small portion of what appears to be a Metro Nashville Police Department badge. That's the problem. He was wearing his actual uniform. No one would have known if he... So here's a lesson, folks. If you're going to make OnlyFans content, make sure you're using costumes instead of actual uniforms. You don't want to use real uniforms. Anything that identifies you, unless you want to be identified, you can't possibly. You got to get some costumes in there. How are you going to stay anonymous when you got your badge number on the fucking thing? Had we not seen that badge, I don't know if we'd be having this conversation right now. News Channel 5 investigative reporter Levi said in the Instagram video on the story, Metro Nashville Police said that they were made aware of the video on Wednesday and launched the investigation that identified Herman as the officer involved. That's a fun investigation to do. You got to go check out the porno video that he's in. Get to see those cans. Your Honor, I was investigating. I saw the tits, and then I saw him in his hand, and saw the badge number there. I zoomed in real clear, make sure I saw the badge right next to those big, fat milkers. He was fired on the following day. His actions were totally outrageous and incredibly disrespectful to every MNPD employee and this agency as a whole. The Reddit commenter who identified herself as Jordan later wrote that the video was a stunt and totally consensual and private property. That doesn't make a difference when you're selling it, and that private property can be purchased and anyone can purchase it, including the investigative officer. What is this on here? This is,
I think, the screenshot that identifies.
Oh, the patch.
Yeah, you see like just a little part of his patch, and I think there's a number right at the top of there. That's his badge number.
Here's the other thing I want to find out. Who's telling on this guy? That's the other thing I'd like to know. Someone out there goes, now that is a Nashville bobbity boop patch right there. Police patch. And we got to, I mean, like, do you think that his coworkers were like Jaying their D to this chick's tits, and then they were like, wait a second. Is that one of our patches on there? I mean, how does this get leaked like that? Who finds out about this and tattles on him? That person should be arrested as well. We should have a rule like, of course, this man's going to get fired. He's going to suffer the consequences for doing the thing that he did. But also, the person who raised the flag and tattled on the man, that person should be going to jail. Tattletales need to go to jail, if you ask me. The fact they fired him is stupid, according to Jordan, claiming that Herman was off duty when the video was shot. I don't think that these are all non-factors. It wasn't like he didn't really pull me over there. Oh, you don't say. It'd be fun if she blew him and stuff later, but I don't think that she did. I think, and by the way, if that's all that's happening on that lady's OnlyFans, spare me. Spare me all this production cost that gets you into a sticky wicket and just put a dildo in your fucking vagina, lady, like the rest of them. That's all we want to see. I mean, do we need any, like, role play here? Oh, no, the cops. I'm going to show him my tits because I don't have the doc. We don't fucking... It's OnlyFans. Save it. All right? Golly. Well, as we often do, we go from sex to animals here on this program. A lot of people sending in animal stories. Some of them a little too, I don't know, wild for YouTube even to discuss some of these animal stories. But here we are, nevertheless, with this one. And that's only because we want to pay tribute to this person. Jay Norby sent this in. It is about the world's fattest monkey. And what is this? The macaque monkey? What is it? Do you know how to say that?
A macaque.
A macaque? That sounds like I'm racist. I don't like saying that. I don't like saying that word at all. The macaque developed an insatiable appetite after well-wishing shoppers fed him junk food at the market in Bangkok, Thailand. So this thing got huge. For a second, I thought we were looking at a clip from the Rangers game here, but this is clearly the macaque. This is the fattest monkey? It doesn't even look that fat.
They're supposed to be really skinny. Like
it's like a little spider monkey. A macaque is like a spider monkey or something. It looks like the monkey that was in Friends or something like that. It's like, what was his name? Marcel. Oh, there we go. So this is an average one of these macaques. And the fat one looks like what? This. Yay. What's the video show here? Is this something? Is it just like, through the years, you never let me down. Look at this monkey doesn't even want to move. It has a cough. Jesus, it's like smoking and shit. It just hung out at this Bangkok market, and people were just feeding it, according to the report, junk food. Oh, look at this! Is the monkey's just sleeping on its face right now. That
monkey's got a good life.
Yeah, he's having the best time. Pause it here. The monkey probably has gout. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's like, it's living like Robert Baratheon there. I mean, it's fat and jolly and eating and having a good time. The massive monkey died, sadly, at aged only 6. But that's a full 6 years of fun. It died at the Crystal Pet Hospital on Monday after suffering from a myriad of weight-related issues. I mean, this is just a sort of a microcosm of what we're seeing in our world today. This is why I'm going to the gym, folks, because I cannot get fat like this fucking monkey and die from weight. That's all I got going from. Oh my God, is that it right there? Oh my Lord, is this it dead?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, it got fat, really fat there. That looks like ET, or is it just bloated from being dead?
I think we all look bad at the end.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't want to look. I got to go to the gym right after this. I'm going to go to the gym and then go to sleep. The name of the monkey, by the way, was Godzilla. That's what they decided to name it. Godzilla struggled with thyroid disease, diabetes, and Cushing syndrome. Let this be a lesson, folks. If you're going to be a big fat monkey, you're not going to live a long time. An overproduction of stress hormone cortisol, all of which contributed to his shortened lifespan. The hospital director, Dr. Supasek, said that, "Let's send Godzilla to heaven. I told you many years ago you may not live long due to your diseases. You are at risk of having a heart attack." I mean, this is just like a regular fat person. This is crazy. These people killed this monkey with their junk food. What is that, a bottle? I mean, it's drinking from like a water bottle. It looked like it was having water, which is healthy. It wasn't drinking soda or anything like that. And there it's drinking a bottle. I think it had a fun, full life, even though it probably had some pain at the end, like most obese people do. Your owner came by to take care of you every day until the day finally came. You passed away peacefully in the arms of your owner. The obese McCake was cremated, and his ashes were returned to his previous caretaker, from whom he was seized 3 years ago. The man previously adopted Godzilla when he was a baby and kept him as a pet, which is illegal under the country's wildlife laws. Authorities found him chained up in a Bangkok market where generous shoppers had been giving him high sugar. So he's like chained up getting treats? That's crazy. Does he have a chain there? You see one?
Yeah, it looks like he has this little like carabiner and he's attached to a rope kind of on the upper right.
Oh
corner.
my God. So what if he's like,
harness.
please don't feed me. I don't want any more candy. Or it's like that fucking, he looks like the sloth in Seven. When he's dying there, that dead picture. Remember in Seven when the I guess the sin was sloth? Pull up that. I mean, can we even show that graphic? It's what it looked when the guy's just like glued to the fucking chair because his skin is like inside of it or whatever.
That guy?
I guess, yeah. I can't. What's the fat one? Gluttony. Type that one in Seven, and then the gluttony one. That's the one I was thinking of, not sloth. The glutton one, yeah, that's what the monkey looked like. That, or I thought it was a different one. I don't fucking know. Maybe I don't remember the movie that well. The family was accused of killing Godzilla with kindness as they fed him unhealthy foods whenever he wanted. After being discovered, the obese McCake was sent to a fat camp. Oh, so they try to do all the things. We're going to send the monkey to a fat camp where he was put on a strict diet of dill, lettuce, crickets, worms, sunflower seeds, and other nutritious foods. I think they try to do that with Ralphie May, too. They try to send him same place. Eat some crickets, Ralphie. Didn't work. R.I.P. Despite dropping from his previous dangerously unhealthy weight to about 15 kilograms, Godzilla's condition never improved. The man who maintains they treated the monkey well said Godzilla's ashes have been picked up. The Undertaker said his bones were very white, as if that's going to... People are like, oh, his bones were white? Sick. Okay, he's fine. We are so sad that he has gone. He was like our family. We saved him when he was abandoned and treated him well. He should never have been taken away from his home, as he loved eating what we gave him. Yeah, kids would love that. You'd feed children candy bars all day long until they're puking up their guts out, and they're going to never say no. They let him sneak away all day while they ran their stall selling meatballs, and Godzilla became a favorite attraction at the market. Well, they're selling it. I would just get the guy meatballs. Giving him candy, they can just give him meatballs the whole time. Godzilla was like a son to me. He was part of the family. Oh boy. The pampered and spoiled McCake couldn't be released into the wild either, as it was feared he would not be able to fend for himself. Yeah, he would just show up at that market if they're like, go, be free. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna sleep here on this table forever. It's like the guy in the hammock. According to the National Geographic, many of his species live up to 37 years old when in captivity. That's great. So this guy only lived to 6. I'm trying to compare that to, I guess humans live to what? Like, what's the average?
75 or so.
That's really it? I thought it went up by a great deal.
Maybe it's like 77, 78, but I think, yeah, for the average for men is 75 in the US.
Well, let's say 75 and then you die at like 30 because he's so fat. I thought the average lifespan of people was like in the 80s at this point.
World average is 68 years for men, 73 for women.
68? Oh my God, I'm going to die soon.
And hold on.
I'm going to die soon. This is bad. This monkey is like, out of all the things from this past week with Netflix as a joke and my already worry about how this week has weighed up upon my lifestyle, this monkey is also sending me to the gym. Seeing the monkey is sending me to the gym. I'm telling you right now. Oh, boy. Next up, a story of hope. Oh, boy. I don't want to look. I can see myself looking like this monkey. They're going to just Photoshop my face on this monkey. Oh, God, I can't do it. Donnie Thatcher, amongst many others, sent this bad boy in, by the way. This is about a woman who should be celebrated. Rent is too damn high. Remember the man who said that? I forget what his name was. But he would come out. He was running for like president or some shit, mayor or something. And he was saying, the rent is too damn high.
Jimmy McMillan.
Jimmy McMillan. What year was that when he came out? The New York gubernatorial race, I do believe it was. Way back in what, 2012 or something like that?
2010, and then he also ran in the 2012 presidential.
And I think that's where we found him, in the 2012 presidential election. And he came out and he was, of course, wearing his crazy gloves with his wild beard. And he was saying, the rent is too damn high. Guess what, folks? It's only gotten higher since then. Jimmy McMillan, who's dead now, never got that rent to be lower. And with it being high, people are doing wild shit. Squatters all over our great country and all different types of, I guess in California, it's really bad because we talked about the squatters' laws at one point. Well, in Michigan, I don't know what the squatters' laws are like there, but police say a woman was recently found living inside of a grocery store sign where she seemingly had been staying for a year. And people are like, in the sign? What the hell? Well, it looks like, and according to the pictures that we see here on the screen, that the sign is like the top of the grocery store. It looks like it's like a loft almost. It looks like it could be rented out as like a studio loft. Look at that like triangle thing up there. That's where they're talking, right?
I think so. It's either that or it's in the thing on the right, which is still
no chance. Oh my God. You're saying if she lived inside that block, that is like a decent, that's like that could be like one of those tiny homes, that little block thing, maybe even bigger than that. Some people could think, the big bright sign on the side of the road, how could somebody live in that? That is not what we're talking about, folks. This is something attached to the building. Contractors were working on the roof of the Family Fare supermarket in Midland on April 23rd when they discovered the woman and her living space, according to the AP and USA Today. Midland police officer Brennan Warren said the department had dubbed her the Roof Ninja. Is that because she's Asian? Yeah, what if it has nothing to do with the fact that she was living in there? Like, she's Asian, so we're going to call her the Roof Ninja. She essentially made it her home, one of the officers said. The woman, had made herself at home inside the top portion of the triangle-shaped sign. So there we have it. You can see it right there, the triangle-shaped sign. As I mentioned, it seems like it could be a nice little loft, or those windows. That apartment would go for like $4,000 in LA a month. Crazy. The woman had made herself at home inside the top portion of the triangle-shaped sign, which was accessible through a small door, according to the AP and USA Today. Warren said there appeared to be some flooring that was laid down and a little mini desk, as well as a clothing, a Keurig coffee maker, a printer, and a computer. Oh, so she made like a little home office in there at the very least, try to be productive. I wonder, is the woman an employee? I don't know why I assumed the woman was an employee of the grocery store, but she's just living up there. People are just like, why does that woman keep going in the back? They didn't care. It's unclear how the woman continually accessed the roof. She told officers she had been living there for about a year. According to California squatters' laws, if she lived there for a year, she would have the right to continue to live there. Isn't that crazy? I wish that was the case for this. I don't know what it's like in Michigan. People would see her from time to time, and then all of a sudden she would vanish. No one really knew where she went, but no one ever really indicated or thought that she would be on top of the roof. The woman reportedly agreed to leave shortly after police confronted her about her living situation. She was advised not to return, and she was escorted from the property. Police said that they offered her information about services for unhoused individuals, but she declined. No charges have been filed. What if she was paying rent on an actual apartment this whole time? She's like, I'm good, I actually have a place. But boy, oh boy, the location over here. Oh my, it's so close to the grocery store. I was getting so much work done. What if it was just her office? She wasn't even living in there. She's like, this is actually where I go to work. It's my home office in your home, in the grocery store. The woman at the center of the story reportedly employed, but not at the family fair. Spartan Nash, the parent company of Family Fare, said in a statement that the store employees responded with the utmost compassion and professionalism. Yeah, what do they care if the woman's living in the fucking store? Ensuring there is ample, safe, affordable housing continues to be a widespread issue nationwide. Our community needs to partner with Spartan Nash. Who cares about the fucking housing? People are going to keep doing drugs. Doesn't make a difference. It doesn't sound like this woman was doing any drugs. She was just like, maybe she just didn't want to pay for an apartment. I get it. Maybe she's like, her credit score is bad, or like, she's like, first month, last month, I got to save up for this. I'll just sleep in this grocery store sign. So much easier. Ugh. Well, we have some good news, though. And this comes to us by way of Brandon in Halifax. He's been really great with getting us all the fine Canadian content. In this case, the lawyer for a Calgary swinger group whose group sex parties were thwarted by city bylaws says his client will continue to have such gatherings in his Northwest home. Hooray! A victory! We get to continue with our sex. And our group sex at that. Brandon Miller, a lawyer for Matthew Mills, said the court ruling by Justice Nick Devlin that the land use bylaw prohibiting social organization activities in private homes didn't violate his client's charter rights won't prevent group sex parties continuing. I don't know what any of that means, but you know what it does mean at the end of the day? That these people are going to get to fuck. Imagine being the neighbors. And just being like, oh, thank God I don't have to hear them all moaning and screaming through the hours of the night every week when they have these sex parties. And then you get this and you're like, really? Really? I'm going to go live in a fucking grocery store sign. This law was very, very vague, and there were no guidelines out on how it would apply. And now that Devlin has given the great decision that it does apply, yes, my client as a homeowner can continue to have parties, and he will. He'll just have to ensure he complies with the decision. I don't exactly know what the fucking decision is here, but I'm happy that this man gets to have sex parties. Personal sexual expression in all its many splendid forms is a fundamental aspect of human life, experience, and fulfillment. Legislative or other state restrictions targeting legal, consensual, private sexual activity will attract close charter scrutiny. This is the judge just saying this thing. This is like a courtroom drama. I want to see this in Law and Order. The guy going up there and being like, personal sexual expression in all its many splendor. That's so wonderful. Oh, my God. Mr. Mills says that what he does under the rubric of Club Menage is a substantively, I don't fucking know. There's so many thick words in this fucking thing. Tell me about the group sex parties. Golly, I'm just happy they're continuing, and we really don't need to discuss them any further from that. But thank you for sending that in, Brandon from Halifax. If you're going to the Calgary area, oh boy, Stampede, baby. Get in the Stampede. That is an orgy, evidently, at this guy's house. Hell. T-Bone sent in something about I love cannibal stories. You know that, folks. JoshPotterShow@gmail.com. There was evidently a Florida man arrested earlier this week after biting a chunk out of a deputy's head at an EDM music festival on Sunday. That's the thing, folks. At an EDM, I don't know if he was on so much Molly. Sometimes you're on so much Molly, you want to like make out with a piece of furniture. You know, maybe he was on so much Molly, he's like, I need to eat this man's fucking head. I need to consume him. It was probably bath salts, though. That sounds more like bath salts. When you're eating a face or a head or something, it's bath salts.
This says he was on a cocktail of PCP, LSD, ketamine, mushrooms, and ecstasy.
Yeah, see, I figured it out. It's bath salts, essentially. PCP will make you fucking... God, that is a strange cocktail. Why would you want to have all of those things? One is enough. Call me old-fashioned. One of those will do the trick for the roach over here. Maybe two. Maybe you do two. I think I've done mushrooms and ketamine at the same time. Maybe two. You can mix in two. But all five, get fucked. The Holmes County Sheriff's Office said on Facebook one of its deputies was on foot patrol at the Soul Fest 2024 Music and Arts Festival in Ponce de Leon, Florida on Sunday night when he was approached by James Michael Anderson. Always 3 names for these fucking loons. James Michael Anderson. James Michael Anderson, a volunteer at the festival location, was allegedly high. He's a volunteer, by the way, at the festival location. He's not even like a guy going to it. He's just volunteering. Hey, I mean, keep your eyes peeled for this guy if he's trying to volunteer for Skankfest. Golly, look at this guy. He's a big old boy, huh?
He looks like a Skankfest ball.
Maybe he would need all these drugs in order to feel anything because he's such a big boy. Like Alex said, he's allegedly high on multiple drugs, including PCP, LSD, ketamine, mushrooms, and ecstasy. The sheriff's office said Anderson allegedly attacked the deputy, who was not identified, and tried to grab his gun. You can't do that. Can't do that. As much as I've fantasized about it, I've never tried. Have you ever fantasized? I remember like during COVID, it was especially like something, you'd see. I remember like just taking the subway. I'd have like little weird ideations where I'd be like, a cop would just be like leaning against something like this. And like, I'd be going down the escalator. And I'm like, what if I fucking grabbed it? What if I fucking grabbed it? Of course I never would. I would die. The other one would shoot me immediately. It's not that I fantasize about grabbing the gun and doing anything with it. It's just, I wonder, it's just like one of those things where I go, could I grab it? And secondly, how fast would I then die if I grabbed it? These are the things that I used to imagine during COVID. It was a dark time. During the assault, so allegedly he tried to grab the gun, whatever. During the assault, Anderson bit a chunk out of the deputy's head, according to the sheriff's office, who shared a graphic picture of the wound on Facebook. We have it right here. It's a little blurred, obviously, so we don't show the graphic. I remember I showed my wound from my surgery, and YouTube was like, your channel's fucked. So I'm sure we can't even show that. Fucking YouTube, bunch of prudes. The deputy attempted to use a taser on Anderson, who was combative, until several other deputies stepped in and restrained him. Anderson and the deputy were both taken to the hospital to be treated for their wounds. He was charged with aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting an arrest with violence. They should let us have, I wonder how I could facilitate that. Is there a cop out there? Maybe we get a fake gun, obviously, so you don't feel scared. But I just want to see. I mean, it wouldn't be, I guess if it was set up, it would be like even more difficult than if it was just random. But boy, oh boy, I wish there was like an Olympics where we can see if you could grab a cop's gun. Just some event, whatever, just to see. This next one also sent in from Jefferson Nally, who's been busy this week. Oh boy, a Southwest Airlines passenger. I've seen this one all over the fucking internet. Look at this fucking picture. A Southwest Airlines passenger flummoxed fellow flyers. Thanks for all the alliteration there. After she was filmed napping in the plane's overhead bin, as seen on a video here, with 5.1 million views on TikTok. Southwest is wildin', says the caption. Now, Southwest is for animals. I've said it time and time again. It's people talk about Spirit, people talk about Frontier. Southwest, this whole you line up in order and then it's a free for all for the seats, is just, it's animalistic. It is not, I can't even describe how barbaric it truly is. This woman decided, fuck the seats, I'm crawling up in, she could be A1. The first one on the plane. She crawls up in the fucking overhead compartment. Let's see if we can see the video. Because evidently people were just getting on board this plane and seeing the woman poke her head out and just sitting down as if it's nothing. What did she think was going to happen? The flight attendant was going to come by and just be like, all right, good day, and just close it? I mean, we need to know more. There's no details as to how this woman got on the plane. Did she have a ticket? Is she a ticketed passenger? Why is she in there? There's an investigation occurring, but this video has just been absolutely viral. I'm sure you've even seen it by this point. But this is the type of thing that happens when you fly Southwest. I'm just going to tell you right now. People are always shocked about how awful it is. And I'm telling you, it's the worst airline there is. There's a couple comics out there who are, for whatever reason, they're trying to get status on Southwest. There is no fucking status on Southwest. It's, you get to go A1? Cool. Who gives a shit? Guess what? There's no first class on there. There's no status at all. And now you got ladies living in the fucking overhead compartments. You got to go put your bag up there and there's some fucking little lady living in there sleeping. What does it say?
This was somebody else had done this in 2019. That person, the airline said the attendant was having a moment of fun and expressing her sense of humor.
Yeah, that was an attendant. This is a fucking passenger. Crazy.
Yeah, no, this is a no-fly list. Like,
yeah, maybe she's an employee from Southwest. They are animals on that airline. Barbaric nonsense. We're going to keep our eyes peeled to that, and I hope the Roach reporters do as well. To wrap things up, we got an email here. Hey, Josh, big fans of the show. Now, it says fans of the show because it's two people writing in here. Interesting, like a couple. Big fans of the show. First time writing in with something. This has been circulating recently, but was originally published when it happened on 2019. So not sure if you've seen it before. Just thought you might find it a bit wild how he was found finally found. What does this say? Just thought you might find it a bit wild. He was finally found, especially considering the car had been visible on Google Earth. So here's the article, folks. William Moult was 40. By the way, thank you to Barry, and what is this word? It's an Irish word because this comes in to us from Ireland. I'm not going to attempt to do that accent either. What do you know how to say this name? Noliag?
looking it up now. I'm going to say Nolage.
Oh boy. I want to get your name right. I assume it's a woman. What is this, how to say it?
Yeah. It's a pronunciation.
Let's hear what it says.
This name, as well as how to say more interesting but often confusing Irish names in particular, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel. How do you say it?
Irish?
Nolig.
That's it? Nolig. All right, Nolig and Barry, thank you for sending that bad boy in. Well, this one that we're about to read here. So you see what happened. A man went missing. William Moult was 40 when he suddenly disappeared on the 8th of November in 97, but the mystery went unsolved for 22 years. How on earth did they find him? A report from the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System said he had left Florida nightclub on the evening of the 7th of November, having called his girlfriend at around 9:30 to tell her he would be home soon. Who leaves a nightclub at 9:30? When he left alone in his vehicle, he did not appear intoxicated. I'd hope not. It's 9:30 at night. Why even go to the club? Is the nightclub even opened at 9:30? I mean, this sounds suspicious. Excuse me. I'm running out of gas. I'm running out of gas completely. I'm speaking terribly. But we'll get through the final article at the very least. He had not been heard from since after leaving this nightclub. The report said Moult was a quiet man who didn't tend to socialize much, adding he also was not a frequent drinker, but did have several drinks at a bar. His story baffled police, who were unable to solve what happened to him. That was until someone browsing on Google Maps inadvertently stumbled upon a clue. The manager of the Grand Isles housing development in Wellington, near Palm Beach, spotted what looked like a vehicle submerged in a pond on the site. So we're looking at the Google image right now.
This is as zoomed in as it pretty much gets, but it's right around there, and you can kind of see it looks like there's
a little thing like, what is that? Yeah. Huh, look at that. People were like, what on earth could that be? And then it turns out it's this guy in his car, mummified. When it was hauled out of the water, they discovered the remains of a man and handed them over to the medical examiner's office to process them and confirm an identity. And you guessed it, it was Moult. The area where he was found had been a building site back in 97 when he went missing. So like those people's houses weren't even there yet or anything. It was just like a pit filled with water or something. And all of a sudden they're like, we've lived here for years. And then they find that there's just been a dead guy back there. Like the pond smells bad. It's really weird how bad the pond smells. According to the Charlie Project, an online database that collects information on U.S. cold cases, it had been possible to see Molt's car on Google for more than a decade. In 2019, Palm Beach County Sheriff's offices told the BBC that Molt is presumed to have lost control of his vehicle and in turn ended up driving into the pond. The force said that there was no evidence of that occurring until a shift in the water made the car visible. Police woman said Teresa Barbara told the outlet, "You can't determine what happened that many years ago and what transpired. All we know is that he went missing off the face of the earth and now he's been discovered." Well, he's back, folks, and he's on the old Google Maps. There he is. Hey, buddy. He's just looking up, waving at the fucking satellites. Golly. Okay. Well, we did it, folks. We did it. Next week, the Netflix festival is fucking over. Thank God. And next week, we'll have a very special guest, and I'm excited. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to ruin it in case he doesn't make it. But I'm excited. And I hope you are as well to join us every Wednesday here on The Josh Potter Show. And do not forget, go to thejoshpotter.com, get tickets. I'll be in Chicago this Friday, Saturday, 2 shows each night. Get your tickets. Come on out to the Comedy Bar. Beyond that, May 30th, Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Improv. May 31st, Emmaus, Pennsylvania, with the great Tim Butterly at the Emmaus Theater. The Josh Potter at thejoshpotter.com, excuse me. And you can find all the dates for all the summer and all the fall dates as well that I've got posted up there. Most are on sale already, so go check it out. Go check out the calendar, see if I'm coming near you, and if I'm not, join up in the mailing list, and boom, I'll let you know when I'm coming. Other than that, folks, rate, review, subscribe. I love you very much. The joshpottershow@gmail.com is where you can send in all your articles, send in your music the way Killicope did, and I hope that I see you next week right here on The Josh Potter Show. Thank you.
Coming to you live and direct with the Roach. We shotgun the beers, I got time for a toast. It's the only place I get my sports like for real, son. He taught us nobody's more sus than Russell Wilson.
Here's the deal, son. Won't find us in Walmart. Josh Potter, keep it frank, kinda like a ballpark. It wasn't nothing talking all that jism. Turns out there's a lot of semen terrorism.
Now it's time we hit 'em. Bringing Votto to the plate. Roachy, your wards with Chase O'Donnell the Great. Let me stop for a second, cause it's Ask Marty time. Cause it's idiocy, you know I cannot abide.
Not a fan of these guys, gonna damage the rise. Worse than the host known as the Roach. Leave an idiot woman standing on the side or looking like she just tripped into a moat.
I'ma kill this Henny beat like murder. Been in more studios than most have ever heard. I'm pleased to be listening. Hit that like and subscribe. So many Bills hats got the mafia vibe.
A lot to describe like a Roach reporter. Teacher on OF, don't report her. Trying to live life with my mannequin wife and my mannequin kids if that's a mannequin right.
Been a fan of this guy since the Roach Motel. Couple 100 weeks in, still funny as hell. From the tit cups to back sis and blind eyes, Potter has one of the best shows of all time.
Now watch this drive. Pop a couple tall cans with the Roach King and caught the vibe. Ready to pour more. Scurry out the floorboards. Hit like, comment, and subscribe.